Errol Spence says, Crawford wants to fight. I want the fight. It's definitely going to go down this year. All right. So Errol Spence is basically saying that this fight is going to go down this year, which is great news. It's more than great news. It's spectacular. It's spectacular news. But with that being said, like, when is it going to be official? They've been negotiating since like November. But when is this fight going to actually be official, though? Now it's great news that it's been discovered that, you know, this fight's possibly, most likely going to happen this year, which is great. But I'm just wondering, when will the contracts be signed? When will we be hearing about actual promotion for this fight? Terence Crawford has a belt. Errol Spence has 3 of the other belts. Really, everybody has a belt. Everybody has, the 2 top fighters have belts. They don't have to fight nobody else right now. It's up to them. If it's definitely going to go down this year, I would just want to see some more news about it. News that's actually genuine, like news made by like maybe an official, maybe like Coppinger again or something, or maybe just them making the fight, because I really want to see this fight. I really do. I really want to see it. I want to see how it ends up. I already have my prediction for it. I already feel like Crawford's going to stop him late while being low on points. That's just my initial prediction so far. This fight's going to be a war. This fight's going to be a war. I just want to see, I just want to see something happen. I don't want to just keep looking at videos or boxing scene articles saying that this fight's going to happen and this is going to happen and all of this stuff is going to happen when it's not. Because you can say as much as you want, but if there was no contract being signed or any official matchup, it's all just anticipation and just air. You got people confused talking about, oh, I don't even know who to trust anymore if this fight's going to happen or not. I just want to see the fight. I'm not going to believe it till I get into the ring. And people say that for a lot of highly anticipated fights. I think they said that for Canelo versus not GGG, but Canelo versus Benavidez too. You know, instead of just hearing all of this talk about this fight definitely happening, I just want to see it officially yellow on BoxRec. I want to see it on top of Yordenis Ugas. I want to see it on top of that, and gold or yellow, whatever the color they have for potential Terence Crawford fight. Like, where would this fight even be at? Dallas, the MGM Grand, Las Vegas? Probably MGM Grand, Las Vegas. This seems like a very good venue to have for a pedigree of this fight, or for a fight of this pedigree. So, yeah, I'm tired of just hearing about this news and nothing just coming out from it. But this is great news. So it brings me back to life, thinking that this fight is definitely a potential fight that's going to happen this year. I don't see why it shouldn't happen either. I think this is a great time for it to happen. I think Errol Spence's victories over Ugas, Danny Garcia Porter, and Count Brook to land undisputed have all led to this moment. This fight has been talked about for the past like 5 to 6 years. This fight has been potentially, or on the potential of happening for the past 5 to 6 years. People have been waiting 5 to 6 years for this fight to happen. I've even heard how at one point this fight could have been more popular, but as of right now, people aren't starting to care less about it as time goes on. And maybe like the Floyd Mayweather effect. Now, I have a theory about the Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao effect, though. If that fight happened in 2011 and 2012, I think it would have sold more, actually, than 2015. Because I remember when I was a child, like, I'm 17. I remember when I was like a child, and I would say probably like 10 years ago, right? My uncle and my mom, they were watching like this Manny Pacquiao fight. I think it was Pacquiao versus what? Oh, wait, let me think of a fight 10 years ago. I think it was was it Pacquiao? Was it a Pacquiao fight or a Floyd Mayweather fight? I think it was a Floyd Mayweather fight, actually. I think it was like a Floyd Mayweather, maybe even Floyd Mayweather versus Victor Ortiz. I think it might have been that fight. And they were all talking about Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd. Like, oh, this fight's going to be crazy. This fight's going to do this and do that. And even going back on YouTube and looking back at all of these other old boxing channels, which were speaking about this fight around that 2011, 2012 time, they were all focused on it, but by the time 2013, 2014 came, they didn't really speak about it too much. That's not the most valid evidence, but it makes me question how well this fight would have sold if if the fight happened before Manny Pacquiao lost to Marquez for the 4th time. Maybe if Manny Pacquiao didn't lose to Timothy Bradley, I think that fight would have sold maybe even better, because I know the Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather fight sold like 5 to 6 million pay-per-view, which is the highest pay-per-view fight of all time. And really thinking about it, I wonder if it could have even sold even more around 2011 and 2012, because it seemed like that was the peak of the talk. That was the crazy discussion at the time. It was like the top of the top in question. And I think even though Floyd wouldn't have had much to accomplish after that time, after that point, it would have still been a very popular fight. It would have still been a very, very good fight. The idea of waiting off till fights until they start to gain more traction and notoriety in the future is good, because you need to build fighters to build anticipation. If you put 2 random fighters who nobody really knows about, who haven't beat anyone, you're not going to obviously get sales unless he's a popular from somewhere else, from another social media platform, or is a YouTuber or something like that. Jake Paul. Compared to someone who has, or 2 fighters who have beaten multiple world champions and are both also undefeated, or maybe I'm just going to go with undefeated, because undefeated is a very good selling mark in boxing, because fans make it as if you're undefeated now, your career is over, which is disappointing, because Manny Pacquiao had hella losses when he fought Floyd, and that fight still sold millions. Manny Pacquiao became such a significant star after losing in lower weight classes. But nobody's Manny Pacquiao. He's just him. This Errol Spence Crawford situation, I don't know how to feel about it. He's held the title since May 2017. He's held the title since that long ago. And it makes sense for him to fight Crawford for an undisputed matchup. It makes sense because you would make the most profits probably from that. As a result, you'd make the most profits. You'd have the biggest, it'd be like the biggest fight there at the time. And it really determines who's the best pound for pound fighter. I got Crawford on my pound for pound list as probably number 1 at this point. I don't really do pound for pound like that, but I could see myself putting Crawford at number 1. I think Crawford's going to really bite down in this fight. I don't think he's going to dog Errol Spence like people say he will, or like he says himself. I don't think that's going to be the exact case. Maybe it is. If he's going to take a dog fight to Errol Spence, he better have a good chin. Otherwise, he's getting ran over a little bit. He's going to get a little roughed up. It's just more or less of, could this fight have sold better if it was years ago than now? No. I think this fight would have sold better now than in the past. I think now is a better time than it was in 2017, because in 2017, compared to the Pacquiao situation, Pacquiao around 2011, 2012 was on a roll. He beat Margarito. He dominated Margarito, who was a 154 fighter for that super welterweight title, which was seen as a crazy and astounding accomplishment that many haven't done, making him like an 8-division world champion. And Floyd was coming off of a comeback victory over like both Miguel Cotto and Victor Ortiz after being such a significant fighter. I think that 2013, around 2013, if Pacquiao won against Marquez, 2012, 2013, if Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo at that time, that probably would have been the peak of its like selling around that period. But in the contrary, you have Terence Crawford, who didn't have much of a resume in 2018 and 2017. He didn't even have a resume in 2017 at welterweight yet, but 2018, 2019, around that time, his resume wasn't established enough, and Terence Crawford didn't even have all the belts at that point. I think it would have been a bigger selling point if Crawford was already a 147 pounder and he had already won against other top welters, which he does now, which would make it sell better probably. People would know that it isn't just another Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence situation. Credit to Mikey Garcia for coming up to 2 weight classes to fight Errol Spence too. That's balls right there. But he took a devastating beating. But that doesn't make Jesse Vargas Mikey Garcia a bad fighter either. It makes him a legendary one because of him taking that risk. And also, he can beat other 147 pounders. He can beat the lesser tier ones. I don't think he could beat the top ones currently, but he could beat the lesser tier ones. So yeah, Errol Spence says Crawford wants to fight. I want the fight. Is that going to go down this year? I hope it does. I hope it does. Finally, man. But I don't know what to believe no more. If any more news comes out about it, I'm going to release a video about it probably, most definitely, because I just want to let y'all know the new news and shit. But just let me know your opinions in the comment section about the situation. How do you guys feel about this fight? Do you think it's even going to happen this year? Let me know. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.